So what if there was a way to apply your makeup in such a way that you use the least amount of product for maximum results? That's what I'm here to share with you today. So for many of us, the way we've been putting on makeup and the way we've been doing it all our life is we take a foundation color, we put it all over our face from our forehead down, all along the edges, right? That's the first thing we do. Then we start to add the different colors on top, whether it's blush or contour or bronzer, a little bit of shine right there on our cheekbones. Whatever it is that you add, it always starts with a full beige face, right? Because we have always been told we take that bottle of foundation, we put it on our brush or our sponge, and we paint away the problems, okay? We start with a clean slate. That is a very antiquated and kind of old-fashioned way of putting makeup on. And I'm going to show you a way to do it that's completely different. It's almost doing it backwards, but what you're going to find out is that it actually helps you to have the least amount of product. You will not look like a flat pancake. I get so many women who tell me, I feel washed out. I feel like, just a flat one-dimensional surface. And I get it. I get it because we are all starting the same way, which is full face of beige makeup, right? Okay, we're gonna never do that again. And the way it's so easy to not do that is by having multiple colors to work with, okay? So if we just always have had the bottle of beige foundation and a blush, what else do we do, right? That's the only way we know how to do it. But when you have a compact of several colors that are going to go in their specific places on your face, you're going to find that not only are you using way less product, all of a sudden you have all this dimension to your face. So I'm going to show you how simple it is. This is going to be very easy, and I'm doing this in a way that you can do it along with me, okay? So get your compact out. With your colors, I'm hoping that you have all the colors I'm going to use. If you don't worry about that. We can fix it. But I'm going to assume that you're watching this because you have already ordered makeup. You have the colors I recommended, which is going to be always at least 2 foundation colors, sometimes 3, depending on what your skin needs, a contour color, which will be dark, and a blush. Okay, so that's what we're going to assume you have, and that's what we're going to work with. So if after this you're missing one of those components and you want it, you know where to find me. Just let me know and we'll get it ordered for you. Okay, so we're going to start backwards. We're going to apply our beige, our foundation color, or our highlight color, which is what I call it, because you're just highlighting areas with that color. You're not painting your face with it. We're going to do that last. We're going to start with the darkest color first. I know, crazy, right? Right? Honey, it's a new age. It's a new age. Okay, so I'm going to do everything with one brush because it's the simplest way for me to show you, and likely you have probably just one brush. Hopefully you have this one. This is actually my favorite for the all-in-one brush. I feel like this really does everything. Do I have other brushes? Yes. Do I love them all? Yes. Do I wish you had a couple more? Of course, and you will one day. But we're going to start with this one. So I'm going to take my big end. This is the detail brush, okay? I'm going to take my blunt big end and I'm going to go into my contour color first. So my contour color is right there. It's olive. Doesn't matter what one you have. That's the one I want you to start with, okay? So you ready? You're going to take this brush. You're going to dip into this contour. Kind of, it's a little bit stiffer than your highlight color, so you have to tap a little bit more at first. We're going to go back for more as we need it, okay? And I want you to see how visible it needs to be before this is going to work, okay? Because sometimes I get pictures and they say, I've got my contour on, and I'm like, where? So we're going to make sure it's visible. I have bare skin. Let's just start with that. Nothing is on my face. I have no primer. I have no concealer. I have nothing but mascara, okay? So here we go. Contour on this brush. Are you ready? Here's where we're going to start. Up here at the forehead. Ooh, look at that gray hair. Got to take care of that later. Okay, we're going to start here at the top. We're going to push it and press it in. Take it all the way down, right up against your hairline, all the way down. We're going to go back in for more. I want you to bring it all the way down here, between your eyebrow and your hairline, okay? Go back in for more. And I'm just tap, 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 tap. We're not digging. We're not, we're just going back several times because we don't want to start with too much. Go back up here where I started and do the same thing down this side. And you're just kind of pushing it in tapping and pushing it in the whole time you're moving it around. Don't be afraid to go back in for more, even if you have to go back a few times. I'd rather you start with very little and add as you go. So I may mess with this for just a few minutes to make sure it shows up. But do you see what's happened already? Is yours looking warm and darker? Does this look nice and bright? Because we haven't put anything here. So this should stay nice and bright. All of this area right here should start to have some color, okay? If it's not showing up, put more. Now, if you're putting a lot on and you feel like you're still not getting it dark enough, you might have too light of a color, and that's okay. We can swap it. If you're within 60 days of purchasing your makeup, we can swap the color. That's not a problem. So I'm just going to show you, I mean, I'm happy with it now, but I just want to show you how you can just kind of keep going and adding more until it's really nice and visible. Again, you're not coming in down here. Just leave this area alone. Another color is going there. Okay, so I'm actually happy with that. It's given my forehead some really pretty dimension and warmth. If you don't love how big your forehead is, the size of your forehead, this is important to do, okay? So what we've done now is we have now added a bunch of dimension here. So nothing is going to go on top of this color. We're leaving it alone. We're never going to touch it again. You understand? Okay. Now, let's keep going with this contour color. Remember, it came all the way down here. Make sure you bring it all the way down. Now we're going to go in back into it, and I'm going to put a little bit of this kind of on the edge. Do you see how it's I'm kind of just patting it like that? Versus this, I'm kind of just putting it on the edge. We're going to create a little bit of a cheekbone, okay? So I was not born with beautiful cheekbones. I have to kind of paint them on a little bit, okay? So I'm going to find my cheekbone, and I'm going to see where it drops off right underneath it. You can kind of take your finger. Do you feel that? Press it right underneath there. That's where you're going to stamp this. And you're going to go all the way back to your hairline, just like that, okay? Don't come in too far or it's going to drag your face down. What we're doing is we're giving our cheek lift and we're giving it some dimension, okay? So again, it's just kind of tapping, pushing up. This is definitely, you can play with it like you did your forehead and just keep adding more until you really see it and it shows up, okay? If it's not showing up, add a little more. Same thing over here. Feel your cheekbone if you need to. On this side too. I kind of know where mine is because I've been doing this so long, but you're just going to put it right where you can push this brush right underneath your cheekbone. Just like that. Okay? So now I've got warmth that comes all the way down here, and comes down like this. Okay? So I have sort of reshaped my face a little bit. That doesn't mean that the shape of our face was bad. It does not. It does not. But what this is doing is it's giving some beautiful indentation there I didn't have before. It's actually making my face look a little thinner. I need that. And now I don't look sort of all flat. Even though I have no other makeup on, I've got this beautiful color now here, okay? Because we started with our darker color first. Now, that's done. We're not going to touch that area ever again. Nothing's going to go on top of that, okay? The next thing we're going to put on is our blush color. Now, blush usually goes on last, right? Of course, we finish with our blush. And sometimes I do my makeup that way because I have figured out how to do this in different order, okay? But this is the easiest way for you to get used to the idea of only putting the colors where they go and not painting that beige all over, okay? So now we're going to go in with some blush. I'm going to use, actually, I'm going to use a color that's not that compact. Let me grab another one. So same brush, okay? I'm going to use a color called Summer Love. Okay, so same brush, big end like this, kind of tap it into your color, okay? I put my blush kind of right here on the apple, and then I kind of put it on top of where that contour is. You see that? Blush is really up to you. Some people like to put their blush really high. Some people just like to pop it right there. Wherever you like to put it is up to you, but I'm just going to show you how I do it. So I kind of pop it right there on my cheekbone to start, or my apple of my cheek, sorry. And then I kind of work it back. See that? So it's kind of right here and then above that, okay? This is the same thing with your contour. You're going to start out with very little and add as you go, okay? So things are coming together now. Do you see that? And we have no foundation. I mean, we have no beige foundation. This is foundation. If you start to think of all these colors as foundation, then you'll understand how it's all giving coverage. They're just not going on top of each other. Does that make sense? Okay, so I've got a little pink blush here. It's a light color, so it's not super, super pink. It's a fairly light color. Let me show you. There's Summer Love right there. It's pretty. If I went in a darker color, let me just show you. I'll go into, what is this one? This is Baby Watermelon. Let me show you. So it's a little brighter. You can see it shows up a little bit more. I'm putting very little on because I like to start very light. Okay. Now, where this blush is, I'm not going to touch it again. Nothing is going to go on top of that, okay? So the colors are where they go. All right, here we go. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to move into our highlight colors now. So my highlight colors are here. I do have 3 of them. I have a kind of a summer color and a color that covers my redness. I have a lighter color that I'm going to use, and that's actually my under eye corrector color because it's kind of yellow, and I've got a little purple under my eye. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to do first. I'm going to take care of that under eye first. So I'm taking the small end now of this brush. I'm going to go tap into that yellower color. It's called June, and I'm just, yes, June, and I'm just going to put it barely in the areas I am purple. Okay, so I'm a little purple there. Do you see back here at the back of my eye? I'm a little purple there. Look at that. Because I'm using the right color, it has neutralized it. Do you see what I'm not doing? I'm not broad brushing with a big brush the whole area. I'm just looking where it's kind of purple, and I'm just tapping it ever so slightly there. When you stop worrying about every bit of darkness disappearing from your face, I'm telling you, everything gets easier. I think we've been trained that our faces have to look almost like you've taken a spackling trowel of makeup and just obliterated any differentiation of color. Not only is that not natural looking, it actually will make our face look very puffy and artificial. So that's why I only put my corrective color where I need it, okay? So do you see the difference? It's a little yellow, and I'm going to kind of cover that up later, but it has taken care of all that darkness. Do you see that? So do we have concealer? No. It's not called concealer, but it's the right color of highlight. That's what we're using, and that's what will take care of the dark area, okay? Again, I don't go right up under my lashes because I think a little darkness right under my lash line is very pretty and it's natural. So back there in that corner, I kind of put a little bit, and I have so little product, ladies. I'm telling you, I barely touch my brush to the product, okay? That's all I need. I'm gonna let that sit and kind of warm up a little bit while I do the rest of my face. Okay, I'm gonna go back into the big side. Now this is red on me. I have some redness. It's worse in the winter for some reason than the summer. So I'm going to use my darkest color of highlight foundation, okay? And that for me is Sandy. So for you, it's going to be a different color possibly. It could be mango. It could be any of whatever the darkest color is that I recommended you is where you're going to probably put this on your face. So wherever you have your darkness, if you have redness, the darker color will hide it better. So I'm going to go with the big end. And I'm just going to put this across my nose, down my nose. I'm just tapping, barely tapping into the product. So we can see now that's already neutralized that. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? Where'd all that red go? Now, if I wanted to take a lighter color and kind of go down my nose a little bit for a little brightener, right down my nose, I can do that. That's what is so great about having these colors and having more than one. It's amazing. It's amazing because you're just putting the colors where they go. Now, I have a lighter color. I have a darker color and I have a lighter color. And then I had the yellow color for my purple eyes. So my lighter color is Candlelit. I'm not going to clean my brush. Have you noticed I have not cleaned my brush between any of these colors? You don't have to. That's the miracle of these brushes. If you're trying to do this with another brush that you may have, it may not work and it could cause problems and it won't apply it beautiful like this. So I really, really hope you have one of these brushes. Now I'm going to go in ever so slightly to my lightest color. That's the color I'm going to put in the other places. So I'm going to put that along my jawline. So nothing has been here so far, right? We've not touched this part of our face yet. Chin. Over here. You can kind of soften that line with your contour now if you want. Kind of blend the two a little bit together so it's a little softer. Tap, tap, tap. Barely any product. Right there. Right here, because nothing's been here really, down between our, this area right here. Okay. And right here. Because remember, we did our contour, but we didn't put anything here. So now I'm going to put that lighter color there. Kind of make sure it's nice and pretty against that contour line. Do you see what's happening? Do you see how it's still beautiful and you can see every color, but they're not one on top of the other? It's incredible. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to leave that yellow right there because it's a little too yellow for me, but it got rid of that purple. So I'm going to go in now with this brush again, small end into that lightest color I have, the color I put here and everywhere else. And I'm just going to barely touch this to my face and just tap it lightly over that corrective color I used. Okay. Just like that. You can't even almost tell the difference, but I'm just getting rid of that color that was a smidge too yellow. And I don't want to wipe it away. So that's why I'm just tapping very, very carefully. Okay. There. That's it. Do you see what happened? Do you see what happened? Do you see what happens when you started with your darkest color first? It works. And it works beautifully. And my face does not feel sticky or tacky. I don't have any like flat pancake one-dimensional look to my face. I have dimension, I have a cheekbone, I have warmth, and I have a pretty pink blush. Now, if you want to go in and add a little more blush, like let's just say you're like, yeah, you know what? This is really pretty, but I think I want just like a tiny bit more blush. You can. Put it where the blush went, where you put it before. Just add a little more. You're not layering products. You're putting the blush just where it was, which was in its own place. Right? If you go back and say, you know what? I think I could do a little bit more on my forehead. That's fine. Go back into your contour. Add a little more. You're not layering. You're still not layering. You're still just putting this contour where it originally was, in its own place. It's really amazing, right? So I hope you were doing this with me. I hope you see a difference. If you are feeling like this is still a little overwhelming, I just want you to know that Rome wasn't built in a day, okay? We are really undoing 50 years of the way we've always put our makeup on, right? Everybody from the beginning did it this way, where you put your foundation on first everywhere, then you start putting the stuff on top, okay? When you don't do it that way, you still get a beautiful, I think a more beautiful finish, and you have one layer of makeup on your face. One layer, and you have so little. Think about where the places are on my face that I actually have these colors. Just think about that. It's here. It's here. It's here, 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 and a little bit across my nose like this. That's the only place that beige color went, okay? Everything else is the other colors. The beautiful dark contour, the pretty pink cheek. So I want you to do this way several times, okay? One day you may go back to reversing it and you will remember, oh, okay, my highlight just goes here and here. And you can do that first. But I think when we start with foundation colors, when we start with those beige colors, our natural instinct is just to slap it everywhere. And I get so many pictures of women who have done that and they send me their picture. And of course they're beautiful, but I can tell that's what they've done because that's all I see. That's all I see is that beige. And then they'll say, I feel washed out. I feel like it's not the right color. What's wrong? Well, what's wrong is that's all you're wearing and you put way too much of it on. If you just put those darker colors on first and fill the gaps in with the beige, with the highlight colors, you will find that you will like your makeup so much better. So this was 19 minutes. I promise I'm just gonna make sure I didn't put too much there. And by the way, just do this with your fingers, lady. If you are wondering if you didn't blend it right, just pat it out with your fingers. This is the only way I ever go back and fix my makeup, is I just do this. Just do this. Pat it out. If you feel like you're struggling, I want you to reach out to me. If you feel like you just can't figure it out, I want you to reach out to me. I'm happy to do a Zoom with you and do it live, but I feel like this might be handy, and you can watch it over as many times as you want and do your makeup with me on here, okay? So guys, let's put makeup on a different way. Let's let our skin look like skin again. Let's not paint our faces. We don't need to. They are beautiful, and if we treat them and give them a little grace, give our face some grace, which is a word I use a lot, I promise you will love your skin better, you will love your makeup more, and you will do this in 5 minutes, honestly. Guys, thank you so much for watching.